Hi everyone, I'm Eric Montagnon. You have my email address here, montagnon@uk.ibm.com. Today I'm going to talk about ITCAM for Transaction version 7.4 product, and more particularly what is needed to monitor transactions. Here is the topic or the agenda for this session. What do you need to monitor transactions with ITCAM for transaction? One way is to use the robotic response time solution and to create robotic scripts that will simulate a real user accessing the application, for example, the web application. And once you have recorded the script, you will simulate a real transaction by playing back the script. So what do you need? You have a list here of the features that you need. The first thing is you need RPT, Rational Performance Tester, or Rational Functional Tester, depending on the type of application that you want to monitor. And you are going to install one of these products on a Windows OS environment. This is what we call the recorder machine. Plus, you will have to install Rational Integration Support plugin software. This is coming with ITCAM for transaction image. And with that, you will be able to record and export your script to the ITM and ITCAM infrastructure. The second element that you need to have is a robotic response time, or RRT agent. We call that a player machine on which you are going to play back robotically your scripts. Of course, you need an IBM T-Volume monitoring version 6.3 infrastructure in place with mainly the TEMS, the TEPS, and also you need the AMC or Application Management Console agent coming with ITCAM for transaction product as well. So the main steps are you record a script, you manually play back the script, and then you, if everything is okay, you export your script from the recorder machine. And then you enable a transaction using a robotic profile by accessing in the TEP client the AMC editor or application management configuration editor. And once you have set up this robotic profile, you distribute this profile to a robotic response time agent, and you verify later the playback results as seen in the TEP GUI under the robotic workspaces. And if needed, if you have some issues, you can, to a certain extent, troubleshoot the playback by looking at the BWM logs file. We will come back to that later. And to complete this presentation, I have added a slide on useful link and best practices. Okay, so first part is you need to install RPT or RFT on a Windows environment. This will be your recorder machine plus a Rational Integration Support feature. And by doing that, you will be able to record and export your script. How do you choose which product to use, RPT or RFT? You use RPT for if you need to record application that involves Citrix application or HTTP, HTTPS web application, or SAP GUI, or SAP web interface application, or Sybil, socket extension or telnet 3270 connections applications, and to complete this list, web service or SOA application. So for all this, the choice is to use RPT. Otherwise, if your application is running on Windows and is Windows GUI oriented with Windows GUI client mainly type of application, then you will use rational functional tester. Here you have the list of part numbers for you to be able to download and then install RPT or RFT. For RPT, currently the two main versions supported by ITCAM for transaction for robotic playback are RPT version 9.0 and RPT version 9.1. So you can decide to use one or the other. You have the list, and you have the part number in bold, CM9JQML, for example, and CM9JPML for the setup and the core packages, so for RPT 9.0. Similarly, if you need to install rational functional tester version 8.6, here you have the part number of the two CD or two packages that you need to download from your IBM Passport Advantage. And the last thing that you need to download and install on your Windows Recorder machine is rational integration support. The last version currently is version 7.4.0.2. It's coming with ITCAM RT774 FixPack 2. It's available from IBM Fix Central. Here is a link to this FixPack available from IBM Fix Central. And for reference, if you Google and search for ITCAM robotic matrix, you will find a very useful document available on IBM Developer Works that give you a list of latest versions of RPT and RFT supported with which level of ITCAM for transaction robotic response time agent. I already mentioned that previously. Of course, you need to determine which product you need to install, RFT or RPT, depending on the target application that will be under test and monitoring. You can also refer here to this link. So let's now move on to a quick demo of how to record a script. I will show you how to record a script with RPT or Rational Performance Tester. You do similar things with RFT. You need to refer to RPT or RFT documentation for further information. Okay, so I started RPT here, and once you have started RPT, the first thing that you need to make sure you are using is a performance test, a project called a performance test project. So basically you need to use a performance test perspective while using RPT Workbench. And then normally the first thing you do is you create, if you don't have one yet, you create a performance test project and you put it a name, you give it a name, my recording project, for example. You can create default folder for each type of asset within this project, and that's it. And then you create a test. So here are the different type of tests that you can create: Citrix, HTTP, SAP, Socket, or Telnet 3270. So you decide which type you need for the targeted application. So for the purpose of this demo, we're going to try and use the HTTP test. Then you select the location. So here I'm going to put my asset or my test under my recording project under the test subfolder, and I give my test name. I give my test a name like demo RPT test. Next, I decide I choose the browser that I will use to access my web application in that case. So I'm going to use, for example, Microsoft Internet Explorer. In order to record successfully, you need not to have the browser that you choose opened yet in your session. So make sure if you choose Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, make sure that it's not started yet while you are recording, and it will start, RPT will start the browser automatically. Next, you can leave normally the recording method settings and other things as default, but you can change if you need a proxy recorder, if you need different settings to reach your targeted application. And you press finish. Then, as you can see, an IE session, IE browser automatically starts. Here you decide to enter your URL to reach your web application. Once you get your page, once you reach all the steps that you wanted to record, you close your navigator, you close your web browser. Here you have a selection of domains associated to your application. By default, as you can see, it can catch a lot of domains that are not necessarily relevant to your web application. In my case, I'm only interested to record IBM www.ibm.com domain. Or everything else is not really relevant to my script. And then, so I keep only the relevant domain, and then I click finish. The test generation is completed. Next step is to open the test. And here you can see the test content details. So you have to verify that everything that was recorded is correct, that it's all corresponding to the step or the steps that you wanted. So as part of the best practice, normally what you do is you add at the top level, at the name, at the script name level, you add a verification point. You enable, for example, the page title VP. You have one page here, so one element is added. And you also add as optional response code VP for the elements that are pulled by this script. Once this is done, you save your script, and now you can verify that it's all okay by doing run as test. So you are going to manually play back the script inside the test execution perspective inside RPT. Here you can see in the performance report that the script is running. Here you can see under the browser some elements associated to your application or your script that is playback. If everything is okay, everything should be green. Here on the top right, under event logs, you have the page. And if everything is green, it's okay. It's a good result. And here below, in the bottom part of your GUI, you have the test log. And under the test log, if everything is okay, you should have 100% pass execution results. Once that's done, you can close this execution results, and you need then to go back to the test perspective, to the performance test, not to execution perspective where we were previously. And now the next step is to export using file export. Other ITCAM for transaction, you are going to export your script to the AMC agent. So here you need to give the host name or IP address. You need to know where your application management console agent or T3 agent is installed. it needs to be already installed and it needs to be up and running. So once you have set up this location field properly, next. If you have several projects, you can get a list of projects. If you just have one, you should have only one project. Here I'm going to deselect everything and I'm going to use my recording project, which was the next one that I use for this demo. And here I can see the name of my script that was just recorded, called demo RPT test, the name of an application. So I can decide to change the application and call it something else, like demo RPT test Eric, for example, and click finish. So here it's going to export my test, my script, and the various assets associated to the script. It's going to export it and build a zip package and export it to the AMC agent. So that's why the AMC agent must be up and running. And also you need the rational integration support package installed, as I explained, on this RPT or recorder box in order to be able to successfully export your script. I can show you using the control panel, not parental control, program and features. If you have installed the rational integration support, it is called ITCAM for transaction 7.4 integration plugin. This is one way to verify that you have it installed. Here the upload of my test script is successful. So we are finished with the recording and exporting of the script. Here I close now my RPT workbench environment. And now we can move on to the next step, which is we are going now to focus on the playback. So of course we are going to use the ITM TEP or Tivoli Enterprise Portal client to enable a transaction defined in a robotic profile using the AMC editor. And of course we need to deploy later this robotic profile on the robotic response time agent. So you need to download from your IBM Passport Advantage the robotic response time agent package. It's an image that contains several agents. It's called response time agent. This is the name of the package, or ITCAM for transaction response time agents, and it contains the AMC, the WRT or web response time, contains robotic response time as well. So here I documented the part number of the RRT agent 7.4.0.1, and then it is recommended, once you have installed the robotic response time 7.4.0.1, you go on your IBM Fix Central and you download and you search for product group Tivoli, product name Tivoli Composite Application Manager for transaction. You select the version 7.4 and you should find the 7.4.0.0 ITCAM RT Fixpack 2. This is the latest fixpack that will allow you to upgrade your robotic response time agent to 7.4.0.2. Here, a better look of a screenshot of the IBM Fix Central. Now let's show you how to playback the script. So I access my TEP or Tivoli Enterprise Portal client. I have here a robotic response time agent that is deployed on this IBM 092 machine, which is a Windows system. I from the top menu icons, I launch the application management configuration editor, or I can type Ctrl-A to start AMC. I go under Profiles, Robotic Response Time, and here, for example, I can select and create a new profile. I give it a name. It's a type Robotic Response Time. Okay. And in this new profile, I'm going to add transaction. So here I have a list of all my scripts that have been already exported. So here you can find the application and the test that I have selected and uploaded that I had just uploaded a moment ago. So I select it, click OK. So here I can see now that this transaction and the element associated to my script and my transaction. So I have an application name, a transaction, an RPT script, and some transaction element. So I can decide here to choose at the script level to play back the script every 15 minutes by default, or every 5 or 6 or 8 minutes. I can change the timeout. I can change several parameters associated to this particular script and application. Once I'm happy with the settings, I distribute. So I click on distribute. So I click on the distribution tab. Here I have a list of the T6 agents. Here I have several T6 agents installed in my environment. So I select the right one, or I can select several if I want. And I verify that my transaction is started, it's distributed. I apply, and I click OK to close the application management configuration editor. Now, after a moment, I should see, if I click on the robotic response time configuration, first of all, I should see that my new profile called my test profile has been deployed. And I can see my application name, test recording at IBM Eric, and the transaction name associated to this application. Everything is configured now for this on this T6 robotic response time agent. I can see also the message here that the profile, my test profile, has been changed. So now everything is okay from a profile perspective. Now I can check the playback status. And I need to wait a few moments. So now you can see in the playback status that under robotic script playback status, my test recording IBM script is under progress. And after a moment, it should be, if everything is okay, it should be in completed mode. Okay, now the last run status for my test is completed. There is no verification point failure. Otherwise, I would see some messages here under robotic script verification point failure, the workspace view. And normally, I should see my application. Here it is, test recording IBM Eric. You can see that the start time is 16:25, so this is right. This is the 5 minutes aggregation period. Here you have old application corresponding or associated to old scripts that are no longer starting or running, because you can see the start time was 12:15, the same day, so they are old. Only these two test script or scripts have start time recent value, so that proves that they are active. So this completes the demo of playing back and verifying robotic response time script playback results. Here I have put a few slides with guidelines on how to verify the hardware requirements for the robotic response time agent. Usually what you do, you can search in Google on keywords ITCAM transaction prerequisite, and you should find this blog, this link to this blog, which contains a link, or you can search for IBM Software Product Compatibility Report or SPCR tool. And if you click on this tool link, you will reach a web page, and you can search, as you could see previously, you can search on, you can select in-depth reports, create a report, then in the search field you can type composite application, and you should find, after you click the hourglass, you should find the list, in the list of the results, Tivoli Composite Application Manager for transactions. And then if you select the get report, you should see the software product compatibility reports. And for example, for Windows, if you want to install your robotic response time agent on Windows, it will tell you the different version, and check the notes link associated to this report depending on which version of Windows you want to use. Similarly, if you want to check the requirements, the hardware requirement for RPT, you use the web link to the software compatibility report or clarity report. You search for RPT, you select RPT in the list, you select the version of the product that you are going to use, and the results or the report will show you a list of Windows operating system supported and some prerequisites or important information. Troubleshooting, this is the last part. If you have a problem playing back robotically your script and you get unexpected results, the main robotic response time agent logs for robotic playback are located under C program data IBM Tivoli common BWM logs. And the main file, or the latest updated file, is named trace-robotic.log. So you can edit this file and verify the results. And some useful information are contained into this file. And similarly, you have another important file named trace-rpt.log, and it's under C program data IBM Tivoli common BWM logs RPT, and then a runtime subdirectory, runtime version subdirectory, like 7.7.800, blah, blah, blah. To finish this presentation, several useful links. If you search in Google on the keywords that I have put in bold, you should find, for example, a blog series, How to Do Stuff, very useful blog. Here is a link. If you have problem with timeouts, here is a very good tech note. And if you have some performance issue with robotic response time playback on robotic response time agent, here is another good tech note to control the GVM max heap size of the T6 agent and of the runtime GVM associated. I thank you very much for this presentation. Hope it was very useful for you, and keep in touch for my next presentation. Have a good day, and bye-bye.
Thank you for watching this video from the IBM Academies. We really appreciate your feedback, so please feel free to use the comments box below. If you enjoyed this video, we would love you to check the thumbs up button. We have added several helpful links to the comments box which will take you straight to our blogs and other videos. Thanks again for watching.